All right, guys. Well, good morning. I haven't even had my coffee yet, but we are up and we are talking about all the controversy and pushback that we are seeing to the trailers for Witcher 4 and of course Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. Now, The Witcher 4 has been a really interesting topic because I think generally most people are trying to be optimistic about it given the long history and the love of the Witcher games and the Witcher stories as a whole. We've seen them kind of bastardized by, of course, the Amazon show, or sorry, the Netflix show, The Witcher with Henry Cavill, where things quickly went off the rails. They ignored Henry Cavill's advice, and unfortunately what we got was a girl boss Witcher Light Season 3 that just kind of did its own thing, and you could tell that Henry Cavill had just checked out. So there's a lot of concerns about this franchise moving forward, and of course, now that we know that Ciri is confirmed as the main protagonist for Witcher 4, there's been a lot of questions and a lot of pushback due to the fact that she shouldn't be considered a Witcher. Now, obviously, yes, the game ended with Geralt calling Ciri a Witcher, giving her the sword and everything else. However, this does not change the fact that on paper, she can't be a Witcher. So, of course, people like Eric Kane over at Forbes bring this up, and this is a man who's, from what I've read from his own personal statements, not one of these, right-wing gamer incel chuds, as a lot of people like to call us. He is just a guy with an opinion that it doesn't really make much sense to call her a Witcher. That yes, while it would be a smart idea to take Ciri as the protagonist moving forward, and kind of move the series in a direction where you can use her abilities, her powers to, cross worlds and time and jump through space, and it would be a really cool, interesting twist on the storyline. It doesn't make much sense to just simply boil it down to, well, now she's taken the Trial of the Grasses, she's mutated herself into a Witcher, she's not using her, OP powers, she is simply another monster hunter, except this time she's a strong, independent woman, right? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. That being said, there's been a lot of crazy reactions to this, a lot of coping, and people trying to explain how this would even work. And we'll get into that in just a second. I just want to remind you guys, now that Christmas is right around the corner, if you need a new PC, if you know somebody who needs a PC, loved one, friend, family, go check out Meta PCs. I've got a link down in the description down below. These guys are top-notch, best, parts available, and of course, some of the coolest builds you'll ever see, and a great, awesome group of dudes. And of course, all their stuff ships from the US-based tech support, so go check these guys out. In fact, I even have a code linked down below in the description as well to save you a little bit of money on your PC build. And of course, it greatly helps the channel, supports us massively when you do purchase from them. So Permaband over on Twitter says, so CDPR rep confirms that Ciri did attempt and survive the Trial of the Grasses. Now I have more questions. Giving CDPR some fairness, maybe her elder blood allows her to survive in the same way that some men survive it. I can accept some plot armor to that extent if that's a rationale. However, is it possible that Ciri managed to convince Yennefer and Geralt to let her take the trial? They both would rather die than see Ciri take the trial, even if the trial had a 99% survival rate, which it does not. And this is something in the lore that's very important. It's typically young males, young boys, 10 to 12 years old, on average, that take the Trial of the Grasses because they haven't gone through puberty. This allows them to, mutate properly and, of course, grow into Witchers, which are completely male because women don't even survive it. They've never had a female survive the trials. Unless Geralt and Yen somehow did die after Witcher 3 and before Witcher 4, I can't see any other explanation as to how she attempted the trial in the first place. I hope I did not end up predicting Witcher 4 key plot points. I don't know what to think if these ended up being spot on. And you can see that they've got this little clipped article from Bounding to Comics saying the Witcher 4 dev team says Ciri's story will not break any canon or even offend canon, despite the fact that they are basically admitting that they are changing canon. With this post right here. So Synth Potato says, Ciri is officially confirmed as part of the Lynx Witcher School in Witcher 4. This is an entirely new Witcher school that we haven't seen before in books or games. It is either founded by Ciri or what is more likely an ancient Witcher school that's been in hiding the whole time. Whoever these guys are, whether they are new or just an ancient school, unearthed remains to be seen. How they convince Ciri to become to undergo the Trial of the Grasses will definitely be a huge story point too. And what's crazy is when you give any pushback to accounts like this and you say, wait a second, there's no women Witchers. He says, this isn't true. The Cat School had them. We just haven't met any as they are rare. Then, people point out the Cat School lore was created in a fan fiction tabletop game. These people don't care. Guy says the Lynx School isn't even canon. It's from a fan project. What were they thinking? Synth Potato responds, you do understand these games all add things to the canon, right? They aren't actually beholden to what the books have. They have already added their own Witcher schools before the Viper School. And of course, this guy responds, you already lost the argument the moment you use the condescending, you do know, right statement. The developers are making an adaptation, which means they are absolutely beholden to the original series. There are no female Witchers, never have been, and never will be. And of course, people point out, oh, but the School of the Cats. And it's like, yes, this is a fan-made wiki citing a fan-made tabletop role-playing game. And of course, it's just more of the same cringe. And somebody else here points out and says, oh, it honestly might be a female-dominant Witcher school since a lynx is more feminine than a wolf. And Synth Potato responds, it makes sense. I'm excited to see Geralt's opinion on this. So here's the thing, guys. Yes, the Viper School may have been made up for Witcher 3. However, doesn't it like just kind of give you your alarm bells start going off when they start talking about, oh, it might be a Witcher school that's female dominant or female only? This is exactly what they want. This is it. This is where we are. This is that this male replacement by strong female characters that we've talked about. No room for wokeness, says Nathan Drake's been replaced with Chloe Frazier. JD Phoenix has been replaced with Kate Diaz. Joel has been replaced with Ellie. Jin Sakai has been replaced with Atsu. Geralt has been replaced with Ciri. The erasure of masculinity in Western video games continues. And that's honestly a lot of what I think people are afraid of is not that Ciri would be a good protagonist moving forward, is that they're trying to make Ciri the female Geralt. But of course, we're seeing now plot leaks apparently regarding Sony and Naughty Dog's new game, Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, which kind of seems to follow the same track of let's inject, strong female empowerment into these games at the expense of believable male characters. So the alleged plot leaked, and of course, we went through it on my live stream last night. It's nothing really to write home about. The funniest part, I think, is that the reason they give for the character having to shave her head in the trailer is because she's trying to hide her identity, which doesn't make any sense because facial recognition would be a thing, right? It's a space game with no spaceships, allegedly that you will spend your entire time on the planet, no flying through space, despite her having a pretty cool-looking spaceship, to be honest. However, there is some controversy regarding whether or not this leak is legitimate. Of course, you can see the community note on this tweet talking about it. Citing Jason Schreier as one of the journalists, people ask him about it on Blue Sky, and he's just flat out says no. So who knows if this is a real thing or not, but that doesn't change the fact that there is massive cope going on around this game as well. And you can see this article from Fandom Pulse saying that Naughty Dog shills are coping as Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet trailers get mass downvoted. Now here's the thing, guys. In this article, you'll see a lot of people saying, hey, if you don't like it, don't buy it. If you don't, want to play this, don't play it. There's lots of other games to play. Why take the time to dislike it? You're just a loser if you hit the dislike button. This is what you usually are going to find from people who are shills. People who are like, oh, but, don't notice, don't pick up on the fact that we're trying to inject all this crap into your games. You've got your other games you can play until you don't. Until they've infected your game series as well, okay? So that's really the thing. They want you to bury your head in the sand and pretend it's not happening to every major franchise or will eventually happen to the franchise that you love the most. So you see it says Naughty Dog shills are not handling the reaction to Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet's trailers very well and are attempting to cope to the mass dislike of the trailers. The PlayStation YouTube channel's trailer currently has 1.7 million views, 86,000 likes, and 200,000 dislikes. Now, the craziest part, guys, is if you take away the fact that there's 200,000 dislikes, 1.7 million views and only 86,000 likes is a pretty low ratio. I think a lot of people debate the amount of likes to views that you should shoot for with a video. I've heard that 10% is somewhere in like the ballpark of a good number. This is somewhere in like the 4 or 5%, to be honest. 4.89%, I do believe. It's pretty crazy, right? And of course, it says the Naughty Dog shills are not taking it well. Over on the Naughty Dog subreddit, one user implored others to not look at the like to dislike ratio, but rather the likes to views. The fans are excited. People disliking, we're never going to buy the game anyway. The game will be amazing. And then, of course, you see other people saying things like, let these people be miserable. This game benefits you way more than them, so power to you. I just hate people on the internet sometimes. Still baffling that 180,000 people would be so miffed over a bald head they'd go out of their way to dislike a YouTube video. Like, it's a space game. Hello, Ripley. And I hate this one example. Oh, the one example they have is Aliens, the sequel to Alien, which was an action film rather than like a horror film. But yet they keep going back to Sigourney Weaver and Ripley as like the one example of when it's okay to have a bald woman. Like, guys, if you didn't like Sigourney Weaver's bald head in the movie, then this comparison means nothing to you. If you thought she looked like, it was frightening to look at and it was just not appealing, then I guess they'd call you a bigot because this comparison means nothing to you at that point. I get there beyond sense, and this happens to so many games, but yikes. Edit nasty comments with thousands of likes too reminds me of the reaction to Angela in Silent Hill 2. Another person wrote, another wokeness crusade for the grifters to cash in on, bashing a game they had absolutely zero intention of ever buying or playing. If it sells well, it would be a mass conspiracy to push, quote, wokeness. If it undersells, prepare to hear, heck, go woke, go broke for weeks on until the next crusade starts. Now, the thing is, this game will not sell well. It might make its money back, but this is not a game that's going to, like, wow anybody, okay? Last of Us 2 only did as well as it did because Last of Us 1 was such a massive success. That's just a reality. This person says, Naughty Dog reveal was truly an early holiday gift. F the haters. They obviously know that what they're doing, and this game is going to blow us away in ways that only Naughty Dog can. That sounds gay. Imagine actually pressing the dislike button over this trailer. So weird. But again, these people are going to tell you if you don't like it, don't buy it. And then when the game doesn't sell well, they're going to blame you for not buying it. This is just the standard way that these people operate. It baffles me. Like, how can you not see the hypocrisy? And of course, if you comment on Naughty Dog's own Twitter account, if you share memes, if you mock them for their stupidity, they straight up block you like they did me. So this is one of these things where it's like, guys, you don't understand. You're not helping your cause by spurging out, trying to own the chuds and tell us what a bunch of losers we are, right? And Endymion has this perfect post encapsulating that, where this person made this artwork with Ciri and, of course, the character from Intergalactic, having their fragile masculinities with 100% incel tears, so DEI-licious. And you can see right here, they actually made both characters look better than they do in their game trailers, right? Absolutely hysterical. And Endymion says, tries to own the chuds, but ends up depicting both characters as slimmer, healthier, and less ugly in the process, a magnificent self-own without even realizing. So I'm going to leave it right there, guys. This has been interesting to watch. It will only get crazier as we get into next year, closer to these games actually releasing. Share your thoughts down below, and I will catch you guys on the next one. All right, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for being here. I do have 2 channels, Minimal Effort Podcast, as well as my gaming channel. I do have a Twitch and Kick for my gaming channel. We do live streams over there occasionally, maybe once a week. And then if you are in the market for a new PC, make sure to check out Meta PCs. Click the link I have down below. Use code TBO at checkout for a special discount. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.